This conference will now be recorded.
The time being 7 p.m. on, what day is it? December 8th, 2021, we will bring the Tilton Budget Committee to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Interesting.
Coming. Okay, let's go over the sewer budget.
I suppose you want me here.
Yes, please, step right up here, Peter.
Try to leave the table there.
Would you like to make any,
I
see there's some notes here, which is good about the
well, let's see,
change is treatment.
maintenance and repairs this year. We jumped through hoops to meet the town's requirement for a project on Academy Street, so we put out a fair amount of money. And after we did our part, everything went on hold, which was interesting. The other interesting part on that project, we couldn't buy water from the water district to do our work there. We had to buy it from the city of Franklin.
Where was this?
When we were doing work on Academy Street.
Oh,
They wouldn't allow us to tap into a hydrant, go anywhere and charge us for water.
so you had to bring a truck.
So
Water?
the contractor had to drive to Franklin.
And which is this maintenance repairs?
Maintenance repairs line, the 242.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So basically, we did a project last year that probably could have waited. But we were told had to be done. The other kicker is going to be, you're going to see our budget start to increase in the coming years based on the metering study. Our percent is going up and it's fortunately, they're going to go incrementally. So, and if you notice, we're dealing with 4 lines, the NHDES. That's all dealing with the Franklin treatment plant.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's going to go up from 4% to 7% over the next 1 year or
No.
3 years?
3 years.
3 years, okay. So that's like 1% a year.
It's going to be substantial. Right now, it's 60% of our budget.
Yeah, okay,
Before the increase.
okay. And that's all the administration stuff here?
yeah, anything NHDES, it's
Okay.
all to run the treatment plant.
Yeah.
The treatment plant is fully paid for by the 10-member communities.
Uh-huh.
Based on user fee, or based on meter readings.
So so would that predict a $30 charge will go to $45 charge or something like that?
We haven't, we're starting the process of looking over what we've got in our maintenance reserve account, where we are with the rates currently, and then if there's going to be a shortfall, then we'll be potentially looking at a rate increase.
Okay.
Right now, we're just in the study phase, so it could be next year, it could be 5 years out. We don't have the info yet. Do you have any questions? I'm just trying to go through quick.
Uh-huh.
Why, if PD detail is up to 4,000 already this year, why do you anticipate 750 again next year?
Because most of that was dealt with the Academy Street project that we had to do for the town.
So maintenance and repair, same thing? Because that's significantly lower than 2000.
Yeah, basically, we don't have any main things, so we may look at small projects to do, but we have that just in case we have a pump station go down and we need, tens of thousands to repair something.
What was happening on Academy Street? What had to be repaired?
The town was going to redo the road.
Yeah.
So the utilities had to get their work done first.
Okay, yeah, because public service and stuff, or what was it, gas companies down there too, right?
They would have been down there if their lines anywhere on the road and they needed to do anything to them.
Yeah. Okay,
Water and sewer were told, if you want to do any work, you need to do it before the project. So we
Okay.
went in and did our work.
okay. Good.
Then what happened, you can ask the selectmen, because it had to be something between the water district and the selectmen.
Might have something to do with those hybrids.
And I haven't checked yet. Do we have the 10-year plan on the town website?
There is some
That was
kind of,
something I'd asked for
Uh,
months ago
It is,
for roads. And so,
I can put it up there. I've got,
well, part of the problem is, this is how we plan. We get a call, DPW is planning on doing this street next year. You got to do your work. So it makes it difficult on us. Because we have areas we'd like to work, but when we get things jumped on us, now we have to move everything aside.
Do you guys ever coordinate your plans? Like if you get the town's 10-year plan, do you try to coordinate yours?
Well, we're going to look at it because they're going to tell us if we need to repair our lines on said road, you got to do it prior to our project.
So you could kind of plan yours around theirs. once you-
Well, that would be one aspect of our maintenance reserve. We also have normal breakdowns. We have pump stations go down all the time. We had 2 alarming over the weekend. Sometimes it's a weekend call. That's a higher rate. If we can limp it to the week, it's still a charge, but
And the 10-year plan changes every time we have a new public works director.
Right, but it'd be nice if the two communicated so you could kind of plan your work based
Mhm.
on their work.
I think that will improve
Good.
with this director.
Did you already, I might have missed it when you were talking about the NHDES lines. Why is the O&M so much more?
that's operations maintenance. That's the user fee portion.
But so you thought it was going to be 139 in 2021 and it came in at 206 already?
Because they have a habit of 1 year, 3 quarters, the next year, 5 quarters. The state can't get the billing out in a timely fashion.
Because they're on a biannual budget,
Okay.
so a lot of times we're
So
paying ahead.
So in 2021, it's.
It's most likely 5 quarters.
Okay. And you know that in 2022, it's not?
Well,
you assume-
no, we know that based on the estimate, we're budgeting for 4 quarters. I can't tell you what DS is going to do. If they bill us the 4, we pay it. If they bill us 3, we pay it.
And what about on the next line? Why is it about half of what you budgeted for?
You'd have to ask DES because the capital charges and the replacement funds have been severely underfunded over the life, and so basically we start with our best guess. And again, with those, those are a once a year charge, right? Or
Those are supposed to be a once a year charge, and what's happened is they'll give me their budget every year. So I base these numbers off what the state gives me. But then the way they bill it out can change, and they've changed their admin several times. So they've restructured every time they've gone through a change with them. So the last billing I got for cap charges, that 23, I got a call a couple weeks later. So that was just recently, that 23. They're going to give me another $2,000 because they billed me Northfield's bill instead of Tilton. It's a mess over there.
So they're going to give you a refund?
No, we owe them 2,000.
Oh, they underbilled you.
They underbilled me because Northfield pays less than we do because based on the amount of sewer they
You
have.
think-
gee, that's only that much of a difference?
I was,
you would
That's
think
pretty
more-
good.
You
you
would think
know,
Northfield has more, no,
We have more sewer.
I'm just being.
Yeah.
You may have more of the other stuff.
Yeah.
You don't think fuel's gonna go up this year?
Let's see, the fuels for what, the generators?
fuel is for the generators and they are set up to only run on a test schedule at this point, so we don't go through a lot of fuel with them.
Oh, good.
Unless you have a long-term power outage.
Then all bets are off anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the generators will run, so we can at least pump it out.
Do you have any COLA in your payroll?
Make sure it's not diet.
No.
No more vacations for you.
I'm just curious if you have a COLA in your.
Well, we have nothing set in stone. It's a year to year, pretty much a merit.
This is a merit, okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty cut and dried to me. I mean, it usually is, but just the NHDES stuff.
Yeah, and that's
The main
the
issue.
cost to process your poo.
Right.
Why do you have a bank service charge? They shouldn't be charging you any service fees.
But what
The amount of
that
money you
is,
have in
is
there.
That's bounce check fees that do get charged back to the customer.
Okay, so you won't end up paying for that?
No.
Okay.
We spent 50 cents under miscellaneous. I missed that one. We budgeted $1.
So you should have found a different line to put that in, so you could have just left it at $1.
I'm at 50% spent.
Yeah. We still have time.
Anybody else have any questions?
We try to keep our budget as low as we can because especially now we know we're going to have rate increases potentially coming
Right.
because our fees are going up.
Right. We always appreciate that anyways, but,
How can you have no cost for heat? You don't heat your building?
It's all town hall.
Oh, it's all here in town hall. Okay, never mind.
I guess Tim
Right
hasn't
there.
figured out the amount that takes up yet. Don't give him any ideas.
Yeah, right.
Never mind. I forgot you were in the building, yeah.
Try to be quick.
That's what I'm thinking. We don't have to vote on anything. with this,
No.
right? Just go, okay.
We're,
So you're all
if we're,
set,
if we're
pretty much?
good, yeah, that's fine. If we have any others,
You
something
can
comes up, we'll just get in
contact
touch.
Johanna, contact
yeah,
myself,
sure.
contact,
Great. Thanks for
you
coming.
can look to your left because you can get answers there. too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Great. Well, thanks. Thank you guys for coming in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night, Joanna.
Watch the slippery slope out there.
Mm.
Good night, Peter.
Night. Night.
Okay.
Haven't seen Andrew in a little while at the bucket. I've run into him a few times. Bucket.
He's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. How's he like that? Good.
Okay, now we'll go with Heather Thibodeau is ready, I think, to present.
Yahoo!
Good evening, how are you?
Good. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you for inviting me. So hopefully you can hear me. My budget this year is level funded. If you have noticed, so far this year, we have not spent our full budget. One offset or offshoot of COVID is that there was some federal money out there, and that helps support some of our residents. We don't anticipate that in the future, or we can't anticipate that in the future. Those of you who are familiar with the state statute that governs local welfare requires that we provide and assist those who need it. So I have to go with the anticipation of we will have similar type of requests that we've had in the past. We will only provide assistance for those who need it and qualify, and provide assistance when people provide the application, the documentation, and truly qualify. We look for other avenues to provide assistance for people, and we work with every partner agency we possibly can to make sure people are taken care of. But even though we haven't fully spent our budget this year, which I personally think is a good thing, that's where we are coming in.
Sounds reasonable. Any questions?
Nothing,
Yeah.
no?
No, pretty cut and dry.
Right, right.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Jeannie.
No, it's Deb.
Oh, hi, Deb. How are you? I can't, my camera's not that clear, but hi, Deb.
Does anyone have any questions? No. Yeah,
All good.
thank you very much.
Thank you for your support. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you, you too.
Good night, Heather.
Night.
That was hard.
Yeah.
It pretty much is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Tim, did you want to
I do have a
give us another rundown of
Yeah,
stuff?
just a few changes, one of which happened today, but Catherine Dawson had asked about how the track list was being purchased, and she'd sent an email earlier today, and I sent the documents that we used last Thursday for the last Selectmen's meeting. The Selectmen chose to take 111,000 and change out of the highway equipment fund, and the balance of which will come out of the PD's health insurance and also New Hampshire retirement. Last year, we, believe it or not, we turned over 50% of our full-time workforce in the town between the different locations. So 16 people out of 32. So that's
mostly police and
left the majority of it at the police.
Yeah.
And so this was an opportunity to accelerate the purchase of this equipment that the director had been planning and had discussed, I believe even here, and also with the selectmen for a couple of years now. So, so in any event, $25,389 was transferred from the health insurance line to the highway equipment purchase line, and then $20,000 from the police department health insurance line to the same line in highway. So $111,084 is coming out of the fund, the equipment fund, and then the balance of $45,389 is coming out of the PD. And so I did make note in the budget so that you can see those lines that were transferred. You'll see in the PD's line, in the PD lines on, say, page 9, you'll see the notes about the second note that you see underneath health insurance. Budget transfer of $25,389, and then underneath retirement group 2, budget transfer of $20,000. And then in the highway budget under the equipment purchase line, you'll see a corresponding note about $45,000, $45,389 being transferred from the police budget. So what that does do, however, is it does require kind of a note for anybody looking closely at the budgeted line, because that changes the authorized budget for the year by making those moves, so that someone might say, well, gee, it looks like health insurance is going up quite a bit. And so you have to really have the note to tell the whole story. But anyway, that's one item. The other item that is really of note, and as you know, well, I haven't had an opportunity to discuss with the Chief of Police some suggestions from the Board of Selectmen, but in particular, they were concerned about adding a little bit more money for the vehicle maintenance line in the PD. The ability to get new equipment, new cruisers, is severely delayed at the moment. And until we get a little more clarity, the board suggested that review that again with the chief. And I have yet to have an opportunity to sit down with her. So I will do that soon so that we can evaluate, and also in conjunction with Kevin, because he's obviously the most knowledgeable about the status of the cars. But the other item that came up, Selectman Jessman is the Selectman's representative on the Concord Regional Solid Waste Committee, and he's been that for many, many years. We are in our 7th year of that agreement with Wheelabrator, and each year there was a prescribed increase, and it has been about 1 to 1.2% increase per year. So maybe 60, 70, 80 cents, sort of increase year to year on our tipping fee tonnage rate at Wheelabrator. Well, the last year of the agreement, they went for the maximum that they could do. We found out this afternoon that it's going from $71.14 to $74.20 per ton. So it's going up $3.06 per ton. I thought that was bad. The outlook for 23 is that it's going to increase to $90 a ton. So there's some serious discussions that are going to have to be had, and the board, as you know, I've already mentioned, is planning on having some discussions at town meeting about that, most likely through the vehicle of a warrant article. But in any event, I took the number that we're going to be charged for tipping fees in 22 and plug that in here. So in the sanitation lines, there's pretty good increases. So the last budget that you saw, minus the sewer commission, was about a 4.5% increase year to year. Right now, I think we're at 5.3% increase, and that is entirely due to the increase in the tonnage fees. So it's unfortunately, there are not a lot of options. Most other places that we could take our material to, our solid waste to, are charging $78 a ton to start. So, and it's the model is an old model. I mean, the further you have to go to truck your material, the less the tipping fee
Is
comes
this
into
all about
play.
like Bethlehem's getting too full and they might have to truck it to like Maine or New York, or is that all part of that
All
discussion?
that, yeah. And
Was
So-
Bethlehem the last landfill in the state? We
uh,
don't really take our
yeah.
trash there.
we haven't, and they've been trying to expand it, but there's some issues of how they want to expand it, and some conservation and wetlands, I think, that's been sort of debated for some time now. But in any event, for us, what it means is that in the 2022 budget, we're looking at an increase in those sanitation lines. So now we're looking at about almost $35,000 increase in residential solid waste and commercial solid waste, which will be offset by by revenue from the haulers, is about a $27,000 increase. So, in any event, and I've still got to do a little more work with that. I didn't have a lot of time to update that, but I didn't want it to get too far out of whack. But that was an afternoon's worth of analysis, looking at our history, looking at the tonnages that we're doing, the recycling trend, and so that's what we're looking at. Other than that, I did include on the very back page as Catherine had requested, the list of funds that we have and the balances in those as of the end of November. And you'll see right in the midsection there, the highway equipment capital reserve fund has a balance of $116,000. So this was prior to the authorization to transfer the money, but the trustees have yet to do that. So that will come down to about $5,000 and change once that's done. That's all I have for you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Oh, and I did update the decision you made at your last meeting on the Allen Concert Series.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we can move along to the review minutes of 12:1. Unless anyone has any questions for Tim. I know you're always here, so.
Well, do you know how many, this is just an off the cuff, residents are serviced by curbside?
It's about 1,400 pickups are done.
I just wanted to figure out per, what it is, just per year. Out of
That's-
curiosity.
I should say 1,400 stops. So there are many that have more than one barrel. So just depends on the size of the property, you know, it's a multifamily.
What's an ETF? So senior center ETF.
Expendable trust fund. And CRF is capital reserve. Essentially the same thing. Yep. Yeah, I meant to put a legend on there.
That's okay. I learned it. I know capital reserve, didn't know that. No, I don't think Jesus is texting.
Cloud.
I know there's that much.
Yeah, there's.
No, there is.
There's not.
I'm gonna stay, wait until. it's
They should be
4
just
6 inches.
salting.
The state could be different this year. 0.46 inches this year. As the sewer commission, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss, throw a dart and we're good.
So I found just one correct spelling corrections under Public Works on the first page. It starts with equipment repairs and rust from the solly, which is salt. Yeah.
Should it say Sally Port?
No, it's salt.
One would ask, why don't they clean the salt off? What is PPE?
Personal protection.
Equipment.
Masks.
I don't know, you just said that.
Safety increased due to hiring a new person for,
The reflective vests, all that stuff.
Oh, for him, it's.
oh, so they hired a new person and had to order equipment for the new person.
That's
More
outfit.
The-
Well, he's also doing away with, he's had a service, a uniform service, and he's going to purchase.
Ah,
T-shirts, whatever, yeah.
He's got a
just read my
budget.
mind,
budget
okay.
for-
It's a
Now it
much
makes
better,
sense.
it's a much better way to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And some of it has the reflective
Okay,
built into it.
I'm gonna say, aren't those just vests that they've got a bag full and you find one that fits you? Okay, that makes a difference, thank you. Was there an explanation as to why gas and diesel were over budget?
Well,
Well, because it's just a random statement. Gas and diesel are over budget.
so he did add to the budget for gas and diesel, and I had reviewed with him. So some of our expenditures come in, after the fact. So gas and diesel, the fuel is one of those. So it's always a month lag, and he thought we were going to be okay, but as you all know, prices increased, and that plus the fact there's another month still to go in, so he's still going to be short He's going to be over budget.
So it's just simply gas and diesel was over budget due to price increase.
Right.
Price
It wasn't
increase.
because he had some big project or
No.
hauling dirt back and forth from someplace or.
So in fact, didn't we say he should increase his next year's
Yeah.
budget
Yeah,
because
and
we
that's-
thought that was under?
That
Yeah.
is one of the things that I would expect that's going to happen.
Looks wonderful. Except for the one.
Motion to accept the minutes from December 1st, 2021 as corrected.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got it.
Do you need
Okay.
any extensions
I was gonna
for the
say
people who
abstain.
weren't here?
Pardon me?
I was not here.
Oh, did you want to abstain? Okay,
That'd be lovely.
Judy's abstaining. Let's speak up. I guess I should ask for that,
I got a big mouth.
right? Okay, so now we have to think about next week. We have Bob Hardy, yeah. Have we heard anything from the chief?
Not yet, not as yet.
Don't forget, I won't be here next week because I have a 3:00 BOS meeting.
Okay.
So.
We'll save you the tapes. Or if you have any input from, if you look at the parks budget or something, any questions, just forward them to us.
Bob, maybe the chief, we don't know.
So we don't
Like
know if
here.
the chief will be here or not.
I don't know.
One day at a time.
But, I mean, if not, then I know that you have town administrator for your January 5th, I believe.
Correct.
And
Wait,
so I'm
can we
sure,
do the police the same day? That's a big budget. I'd kind of like to be here for it. And I don't want to hold you up though either.
Kids are unique.
So is that the last meeting until the new year?
The 12:15 one?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, right, yeah, we don't want to meet on the 22nd. Okay,
So
All right.
should we just bump the chief, give her
I
time,
think that,
bump her
I think
to
that makes
5?
sense.
all right.
Do the big, two
That's
big
what I
ones.
was, yeah.
You don't want to meet on the 22nd?
No,
No,
we're all cooking for Christmas.
This is we stuff, Kimasabi.
So next week will be Bob
And
and trying for the chief and Jeannie on one side.
That'd be great.
any reason why the chief,
I thought we just said we were going to do the chief on
On
1:05.
1:05 as well as.
Yes.
Right.
So that she can be there.
So
for
just
that.
Bob. Hardy
okay,
next
okay,
week.
so,
So just be Bob.
Just Bob.
Just Bob.
That's what Lisa said, that we'd do Jeannie and the chief on 1-5.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought she said, see if the chief could come next week, and if not, 1:05.
yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry, that's what I thought.
that's what I actually thought.
Okay, we all heard it, but sorry.
So, okay, but we're just gonna send her to the 1-5.
There's no other little, I mean, that's it? We're done then?
Well, I mean, you
We
could
haven't-
go over some of the other administrative town,
Whatever you like.
I mean.
Yeah, we haven't gone over the budget
Which Jeannie,
itself.
No, I
Jeannie,
just meant,
Well,
what was that?
We haven't gone over the budget itself.
yeah, as a.
You know, I mean,
committee.
you're gonna- Do you approve of the merits? Do you approve of, any of those line
Town
items?
budget.
So wouldn't we would do that before the public hearing, or do you want to
Oh, no, you definitely do it before the public hearing.
do it earlier?
You could do it next week if you're gonna have Bob come in.
Just
We could just go through it.
review the whole budget again,
Yeah,
and anybody with questions and concerns.
changes, yeah.
So
And then-
if you wanted to get some
no, I can
notes,
do
just
that.
send them along, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
I have a question on outside agencies. And
Yeah.
I wasn't here, so maybe it's, because I wasn't here. Did we get a cost for animal control?
That's being worked
In
on.
process.
Because it says department request and there's an amount. And then Lakes Region Planning, there's an amount for department of request. But Still nothing.
Yeah, those will come with, when Jeannie does the administration budget. She'll
Okay.
probably have the answers for those.
Okay.
I mean, as far as the animal control piece is currently out to.
Right.
Yep,
it's out
you're
to
still working on
Yeah.
that.
Because we were trying to discern whether a couple of the agencies that we were asking were capable of doing it. So,
Don't forget cats.
so.
Cats.
I'm always running into feral cats as a health officer. It's really, really hard.
Well, if you run into them, it's not a problem anymore.
Then they become speed bumps.
Nobody wants to do anything with them.
Okay.
I have no
Lakes Region
question.
Planning is simply their, their,
They haven't set their,
Their dues.
yeah, this is their request. This is the amount for our dues.
and have we heard anything from Lockmere Water District?
I spoke to Paul. Once they have their final budget done, he's planning on bringing it in. And his MS 737.
Does he understand if we don't approve it, he doesn't have a budget?
There's pretty much 4 lines that are on it.
Okay.
So it's
And do we want to do anything with the sewer budget tonight, or,
Anybody have any, I mean, to me, it looks,
I mean, do we want to approve it, or,
just make a motion.
well, I'm a sewer commissioner, so
Oh, okay.
I probably wouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I make a motion to accept the sewer budget as presented.
Second.
Pardon? Oh,
To
to
accept.
accept. Yeah, accept it. Thank you.
You seconded?
Second.
Yeah. Okay, any more discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I will abstain
And
from
one
that vote.
abstention.
So that's the only one that's the only one that's hanging is the Lockmere Water District, right? Is that the only one that's out
I
there?
believe so, yeah. And
What
just
is
those
it
other
they
little
do?
things you're talking about, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's the same as ours. So I mean, they've got to have it to sign and post it with their, they have to post it at the same time. We have to post the budget here. So he has to come in, do his presentation, have you sign at 7:37 prior to that. So he's aware of it.
Is he on the schedule?
Uh,
I mean, should we
They're aware.
nail him down and should we?
Just say they're aware of it.
A quick question, under culture and recreation, that's Parks Commission,
Yes.
Yes.
but I know it says Parks Commission, but is there an overlap?
It is.
Like, it has like some mowing and maintenance of the park? Is that,
Well, that's with
so
the,
that covers Kevin's stuff too? How does that?
So, no.
No.
Their budget doesn't cover Riverfront. So in the highway budget, the very last line of the highway budget is the money that was sort of set aside to handle any sort of parks, building and grounds maintenance. But it really is a paltry amount of money. In the Park Commission budget, they've got Best Pocket Park and Civil War Monument, both of which are done by a third party landscaper. And that includes like fall cleanup. So that's $3,100. It actually was $3,110. I had to adjust Bob's budget slightly because the math wasn't right, but.
However, the park's building maintenance is shared by both the Park Commission and Public Works.
Yes.
you mean like the roof?
Oh, like the roof, it's like little things like the plexiglass needs to be replaced. Well, you're subcontracted out to somebody to have it done. If it's not something that Public Works can do in-house,
Mhm.
then the Parks Commissioner take care of, finding somebody to do the work.
Like we're having all those signs
That's right.
redone. Yeah, we had to
That's right.
get
Right,
Vince
so
Vince to help us with that.
The
Well, and
signs
it's
are a
like
good
when we
example.
have the prisoners come in and do the work for us.
Sure,
and Public
doing it.
Works doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's great,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So you got two commissioners sitting here.
But the reality is that more and more probably of building and grounds could be done by Public Works. That's what I think. I mean, from the
I
standpoint
think
of
so too. Yeah.
adding,
Well-
we have a full complement, or will in another week, a full complement down there. And very capable and resourceful, as you know.
But there are some things they just don't have time to do. Because if they're still going to be doing their public works, such as ditching and roads and sidewalks, there are some things that's why the parks still, hires it out.
I think we're much closer than we have been in prior years.
Oh, yes, definitely.
to-
Public Works is definitely doing more now
Mhm.
than they ever have in the past with the park.
Yeah, because if you look at like the model that a lot of towns have, like the parks and recreation would be like the programs and operations and that sort of thing. But all the maintenance and repairs and
It's town
building and grounds would be, through the.
highway. Yeah.
What I think is nice here, though, is we have a very good working relationship with our Public Works Director. He just came to a park commissioners meeting in October,
Mhm.
November, and we discussed, what will you be doing? What do you want us to do? It's a very nice communication and working arrangement.
So one of the things I can tell you from the current year budget, so as you're aware, the roof for some time has needed to be done. And there was a original quote, and it was put into the 21 budget for $12,500 to do the roof. So in talking with Bob Hardy, I explained that it would only make sense to encumber that money to move forward, but it looks as though there's going to be additional money within the parks budget available at the end of the year. And the quotes, the actual written quotes that I got recently from both Bill and Catherine, the asphalt replacement was just under $18,000. So, so I don't know if there's going to be that amount, that additional $6,000 to encumber. But if there is, my recommendation to the board is going to be to encumber those funds so that whether or not it's that vendor or another vendor, but there's a sufficient amount of money to replace the roof.
I haven't heard back from the original quote.
Right.
That was from September of 2020.
Yeah, and if you, if you look right now, there's 22,000 that's spent out of the 38. So we're going to be, there's not going to be a lot of room there, but there'll be a little bit of room perhaps.
We just got a bill for fireworks,
Right.
2,500.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, because I just got the bill today.
Right.
Well, it'd behoove the Board of Selectmen to encumber it out of their budget somehow. Because we've been, 2-3 years now watching it disintegrate.
Right.
And pretty soon it's going to start leaking in.
And I think
And then we'll be in trouble.
that's one of the most compelling reasons I think to have, all the structural components of the
Mhm.
parks and grounds, things that might deal with water flow. I don't know, the more infrastructure type of things, I think should be under, that watchful eye, that they can act on it. And we have all the processes in place to be able to get those RFPs out quickly and, report back and get them, get work scheduled and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was, so there's, so even if you look at the 12.5, that's probably going to be the balance of the park commission budget this year. So, so I'll have to see if I can find it elsewhere, which I'm sure we probably will be able to find a good portion of that towards the 18,000. So at least we won't have to raise and appropriate.
Mhm.
to include the whole thing.
Great. Anything else? probably next week, I mean, Catherine and I will have to recuse ourselves, right? If we're both on the park commission. So we really,
Oh.
we won't really be able to vote on that.
We got you covered. Don't fret.
But you're not going to be here either, so.
Is
But that's
there,
fine.
may I ask, is there any portion of the budget that you feel you would want to vote on at this point or discuss further? In any one of the departments or maybe health and welfare?
Yeah, we didn't vote on welfare. We just said thank you, but we didn't vote on it.
And you have the health officer right here in case you had any health questions. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Just
That's a good point.
You know, I'll bet before we do that, Christine would like to be in on it.
That's true.
I mean, she's just
Okay.
really,
Sure.
let's think.
Yeah, I just think we should everybody should go over the entire budget again,
Plan on
at your
doing it next
leisure,
week.
of course, and bring questions in. And we'll see if anything changes next week.
What's
So.
the status on the selectmen on the budget? When do they actually vote?
So I'm hopeful they're going to have revenues on their meeting of the 16th. And I'm hoping that at that meeting that they'll start voting on portions of the budget. But I would expect that in January, early January, you'll see the selectmen's voted column fill in pretty quickly. There's been a lot of discussion and a lot of review and a few open items, as I mentioned, the vehicle repairs and fuel was another one. So, there's some things that we still need to kind of hone up, but we're close.
Are there any issues with people paying taxes?
No, actually, receipts are looking good coming in and so far so good. We have yet to see the majority,
Mhm.
but it looks very much like the last tax bill.
Well, they actually went down. I mean,
School district,
yeah,
School
because of
portion.
that.
but that
So
won't
was-
happen next year.
No, it's going to rebound, right?
It is and that's one of the reasons too. I'm very concerned that, we, from a fund balance standpoint, that we've got enough powder next year that we can help offset that. So, yeah, enjoy it while you have it.
Sure.
And Catherine, you missed the comment last meeting. Because of the cash flow of all that, I'd add a little more interest money, interest expense, because the first bill of 22 is going to be the same as our second 21. And that's going to throw the cash flow.
Oh, yeah.
out of whack. So
Ouch.
that's why, so you're going to see a great bill for the first bill, but then and the helmets are going to have to order for people in town hall.
Yeah.
This time
Because
next
the
year,
second bill is going to look horrendous.
yeah,
Well,
this time next
It
year.
would be nice that we make a point of that at town meeting. And
Right.
that people should start to gird their pocketbooks.
And what's unfortunate, and I think Deborah brought it up last meeting, is that it just skews people's escrow accounts. that
Right.
have escrow.
Sure, yeah, all of a sudden you have to pay, they want you to pay an
We
extra
just got a $500
$2,000.
refund. It's like, you just keep it because you're.
Yeah, I
gonna want it
know,
next
right. Well, yeah,
Mm. Well, Merry Christmas next year.
right.
Ah, humbug.
Right, so a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I want that.
Opposed?
This is good.
Thank you.
Go home and make some pizza? No, I'm not gonna go home and make some. Not just for me.